CEXy i DEXy to dwa filary rynku kryptowalutowego, ale ich rozwój idzie w różnych kierunkach. Które z nich lepiej odpowiadają na potrzeby inwestorów i jakie są perspektywy na ich przyszłość? Następna debata będzie w języku angielskim. The evolution of centralized and decentralized exchanges is reshaping the crypto landscape. Which model will drive the next wave of innovation and how will they coexist in the future? Please welcome Paweł, Łaskarzewski, Tekla, Filippo, Anania, Krypto, Klein, Frankie, Beatrice III.
Yes, check the mic,
Test.
check the mic. We are in, man.
Hello.
Check.
Hello, everyone.
Check.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. We need charge.
Okay, so today's topic is about the beef between centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. We have amazing co-panelists and speakers today that will try to answer the question, which is going to be the winner of that bull market and maybe the future one. So I would like all of you to take like stage with 30 seconds and introduce yourself so all our guests can understand who you are and what you do.
Sure. Hi, I'm Frankie. Jestem polski Americanum. I lead BD and help run ops at Cube Exchange.
Hello everyone, guys. My name is Klein, and some of you might know me because I run a Polish YouTube channel about crypto trading. So currently I'm with BingX here, moderating this panel as affiliate. So we will be doing this in English, but what I'm doing is teaching people about trading and explaining them how they can manage their money in correct way and don't lose that. So I guess we'll have some nice panel today. So go to the next one.
Hi everyone, my name is Tekla. I am head of business development at Apex, which is a non-KYC, non-custodial, decentralized exchange. Glad to be here. Thank you also for being here.
Thank you, guys. Hi, everyone. I'm Filippo. Actually, Akaikaro, maybe someone know me with that name. I'm the country manager for MEXC, and I will try to answer your questions, so be kind with us, okay?
I will try.
Thank you. We need charge, guys. Yes, man, come on. Yes.
We'll try.
Yes, I come from
Exactly,
Italy, if you doesn't know.
Okay, perfect. So as we are going to have amazing people from different part of the crypto exchanges market. So the first one would be the question, what do you think will develop further and where do you see the future of this? Are you thinking that in the future users are going to be more interested with the recent development in the space into the decentralized exchanges and all the decentralization, etc., or maybe because of ease of use, ease of onboarding and understanding how the traditional financial market works, they're going to be more interested into getting into the centralized exchange. Like, what is your take right now about that, seeing that both markets are growing heavily and very fast? Let's start with you.
Sure. So I'd like to start by, it's funny that we're starting with me because we are Hex, so we're building the future. We are the best of both worlds. We're not choosing sides. We're solving the fundamental problems of centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. So a DEX is more centralized. Our Guardian network, our validator network, is more decentralized than any single DEX. Centralized exchanges typically have better liquidity. We aggregate liquidity across chains and exchanges. A DEX is safer, but we eliminate bridge risks while maintaining self-custody. Our entire exchange has MPC vault wallets built into it, meaning you never have to worry about a ledger or just not having the security that you need, or an exchange holding onto your funds. Remember, not your keys, not your crypto. CEXs are faster, but the intent system we built from scratch matches CEX speed with the heightened security.
All right. Klein?
Yes, so from my point of view also as a trader, like the centralized exchanges are much easier to use, much easier to onboard people, because imagine you have a group of people who never touched exchanges, they didn't take any transaction, they need to set up the external wallet, right? That was a good point, that on CEXs you are not owning your keys, so you are not owning your money technically, right? So in this case, if you go to DEX, it might work for you if you are in some countries, of course, but in point of view, when you are looking to hold your money safely, I always recommend it's also a good technique to use still CEXs anyways, because it's easier, faster, and don't hold never all money on your centralized exchanges, right? So in this case, you can also use CEX, but not go into DEXs, because they're also more complicated. So it's not for newcomers to the market.
Okay, got it. So Tekla.
So great points already raised. I think it entirely depends on the time horizon that we are looking at. So obviously, you pointed out that's absolutely right. For the entry-level traders, especially those who have never traded crypto before, centralized exchanges are the natural landing point. Centralized exchanges are what users will understand intuitively best. Perhaps self-custody is not something that they want to dabble with if this is like your first trade ever. Naturally, I think centralized exchanges, even in the long term, they will have relevance, whether they continue to grow or plateau or even decline. It's hard to tell right now. But as far as the centralized exchanges are concerned, if we go back to the founding principles of crypto, decentralization, non-KYC-ness of them, the custodianship of your own funds, these are the founding principles of our sector, really. So if we go back to the origins of it, I think the decentralized exchanges really do have more of a long-term advantage in a sense of they essentially catered to the audience who wanted to get that. They wanted to get decentralization, they wanted to get permissionlessness, custodianship of their own funds. So I think in the long term, might be subjective here, perhaps it's the DEXs that hold the trump card, perhaps it's the hexes, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to depend on the changing landscape of user preferences, regulation, which we haven't mentioned, that's going to play a big role in what is the ultimate product that's going to be the winner at the end, but also principles that the users hold dear.
Perfect. Filippo, what's your take on that?
What was your question? No, actually, the first question you ask is about the future, right?
Yes, about the future.
I think, guys, we are the future, you know? Try to go outside and ask people what is Bitcoin, what the base is, who is Satoshi Nakamoto. No one knows. Maybe 5 or 10% of the population you can answer. So the first thing, guys, I think is the education, okay? We have to improve that part. So this university have a great look to the future. That's important stuff. The work we do is super important, guys. With no education, guys, we have no future. With no future, we have no hope. So freedom of money, first of all, okay? And first, to be honest, is a matter of responsibility here. I don't want to talk about checks versus DEX. Maybe we will talk about that. But the first thing is always education. So to have a good future is about that. We have to learn and we have to teach other people the freedom of money, the decentralization, and of course all the stuff that our god Satoshi Nakamoto tried to do in 2008. So that's my thought.
Thank you very much. And all of you touched a few elements of the centralized and decentralized exchanges that are operating today on the market. And one of the very clear things compared to traditional financial market is that we have big decentralization and fragmentation of liquidity today, right? On traditional market, if we want to buy Tesla stocks or if we want to buy euro-dollar currency pair, right? We have one market that is having all the liquidity on that market. And in crypto, we have one DEX liquidity, another centralized exchange liquidity. We have a lot of approaches to solve that problem through aggregators like Bitpanda, 1inch, etc., Swissborg maybe. And do you think that the future winners of the market are going to be the ones that are going to provide that liquidity consolidation? Or maybe the centralized and centralized exchanges are going to convert themselves into operating on both markets, some hybrid approach maybe. What do you think about this thing?
I know it. Okay.
Go ahead.
So now, the first thing is to be serious, okay? Checks is only a facilitator, okay? So the answer is yes, first of all. But checks is a facilitator, so I come back to my first answer. It's a matter of responsibility. You have to balance, okay? You have a checks, you have a customer support 24/7. If you lose your password, you can count on them. But all the people pass from checks to go into the DEX. It's only a matter of time, you know? I think, okay, checks will facilitate this process. But it's only a matter of time that people move to DEX. And, you know, I work for a DEX, for a checks, so I don't know if the company will confirm my role here if I say that. But is a facilitator to go into DEX, for sure. You have support, you have, as he told before, not your keys, not your coin. So on a DEX, you own your crypto maybe, but if you lose your keywords, it's game over for you. So responsibility, first of all.
So, so I'd like to say, like given that question, we are the future because like Cube itself is, because we are a hex and we're addressing those problems that you
Who are we?
Cube, just as an exchange, being a hex, we're not an L2, we're not another bridge, we're not taking value from L1s, we're enhancing L1 value. We're different from cross-chain solutions because we're preserving the security, we don't lock up assets in bridges. And the main issue with DEXs and CEXs is DEXs can't scale. Majority of the time they have poor UI and high fees. The common issues with CEXs are there's custody risks and centralization issues. So with Cube, you're getting both through intent-based trading, a Guardian network, and then a non-custodial wallet that's just built into the exchange. So as soon as you sign up on Cube, you're getting the advantages of both the CEX and the DEX without any of the worry.
Tekla, Klein, do you want to add anything to that?
Sure, so going back to liquidity.
Fragmentation of liquidity and the problem of that because
that's
like,
the boogeyman, isn't it? Especially for like DEXs. But at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that what we want is a smooth trading experience for users. We want to remove the barriers. We want to make the experience as user-friendly, as smooth, as devoid of any issues as possible. And yeah, if the answer to that is aggregated liquidity, then yeah, that's probably the direction that we're going to go into. If the answer to that is fragmented in a certain way, if there are issues with aggregating all the liquidity in one place. But I'm sure that at the end of the day, I think we all have to be guided by, yeah, the ideas, like what principles do we want to serve? We want to make it easy for the users. We don't want to make it complicated. We don't want the users going around 500 different platforms trying to achieve one goal. So I think that generally that is the direction that we're going into. I mean, hexes are a great example of that, right? Yeah. Combination of the best features, perhaps, of DEXs and CEXs. Now, I think hexes are quite young, so let's see. There's a pretty big runway for them to cover yet. But I think convenience and ease of use are name of the game. So yeah, whatever gets the liquidity in one place, whatever makes it easiest for the users to trade. Yeah.
You stole my next answer.
Personally, I love fragmented liquidity, to be honest, because I can do, and I have a lot of opportunity for arbitrage, right, because of the different prices. But maybe users are not so keen on to see that. Anything to add?
Yes, so in my opinion, like the liquidity is very important for trading as a trader also. So if you take advantage of exchanges, it's CEX or DEX, it doesn't matter. But if the liquidity is high, as Tekla said also, the trading experience is really smooth and you are avoiding situations like you place an order and it never gets filled like that. So this is very important. From my experience, I didn't have any good experience so far with DEXs on the future specifically. Of course, when we count DEX as, let's say, a pancake swap, it's like a swap. Yeah. Spot, it's okay. But if we talk like futures on a DEXs, for me it's very tough and difficult to count this as a good trading platform, right? Because it takes a lot of difficult stuff to do it, even with the gas fees. And specifically for the people, it might be also confusing. But what I also think, as also Filippo said, it's a journey. So most of people start with CEX, and because of many difficult situations like can happen in the world, they cannot use CEX, right? So they will go to DEX. So it's a journey, and it's very dependent on each person's situation if they want to trade DEX or CEX. But in short answer is the exchange CEX or DEX, which will provide the biggest liquidity, in my opinion, will always have better advantages over the other.
Very good. Thank you very much for that. And that was a nice answer, to be honest. But let's move to another topic, which is one of the hottest topics of the recent weeks, AI agents. So AI agents is the topic that took over the market in the last few weeks. The narrative is in there, like everyone is trying to get into the train. And a lot of people are speaking about this new trend that have been built on top of that, DeFi AI, that is perfectly fitting exchanges and doing some automated work between different protocols, between decentralized exchanges, maybe also centralized exchanges. So what is your approach in terms of development of decentralized and centralized exchanges in terms of recent advancement in AI agents space? Because this might provide users a new ways to do trading, to provide capital onto the market without having a big knowledge, but by just using the protocols or solutions that can build on top of existing solutions without having a deep understanding of what is underneath. So what do you think? That will gonna be a good thing, bad thing for businesses that you are in, so centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges, or is it going to influence your businesses positively, negatively? Like, what is your take on that?
So in my opinion, it's a matter of compliance. I think that's the main issue. If you are licensed, like as a HEX, we're licensed as a CEX, right? So regulatory, until it evolves, we're treated just like a CEX. Depending on where you're serving your users, some can use those tools if you're providing them, and some cannot, because the agent is making the decision of somebody that's giving investment advice, right? And depending on the security laws, it's acting as, an investment manager. And in the US, in the EU and Australia, it can be seen as breaking the rules and something that you can't proceed with. So, I mean, a good example is if you guys are familiar with AI16Z that recently rebranded to ELIZA. Essentially, what's happening is it keeps a pool of asset like meme coins in a portfolio that the AI just selects, but the risk behavior is voted on by the DAO members, right? So any exchange that's a CEX that is going about listing ELIZA as a token, AI16Z going to be ELIZA, is taking on that risk of being an investment scheme. And it's something that they could get fined for or face regulatory trouble for. So it's a complex answer, right? If none of the regulatory issues are being pinged or triggered, and the agent isn't, anytime you have something performing that action on behalf of the user, it's very gray on what's allowed and what's not allowed.
It's so gray. We will see if regulators will follow, because that's a new thing that they haven't thinking about when they introduced MiCA, DORA, DLT pilot regime in Europe. So we will see how they will follow that new trend, so automated AI management of your capital. But yeah, that's going to be one of the important and interesting things. But yeah, so how do you think, guys, about that? The same question to you applies. Tekla, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I think, like, AI is a huge narrative right now, right? So when you will implement all of the tools you can use, specifically on, as you said, like on top of the exchanges. So from, like, let's say traders' point of view, you can utilize this as a trading tools on AI, right? But when you think like deeper into it, like people will think, okay, AI is getting more and more detail, more and more experience, right? But there is a roof always. So will AI even, or AI agents be able to be as precise, let's say, in trading or catching dips or trading-wise, so they can always win? I don't think so, because it's also so many data points which they need to analyze. But in this case, let's say in 5, 10, 20, 50 years, AI agents will be that good in trading. So for exchange, of course, CEX or DEX, it will be great because it will bring users, volume, etc. But no one can win in like crypto trading game forever, right? This like zero-sum game. That's the reality.
It's even negative sum game because there's transaction fees,
exactly.
So it's even worse.
Yes.
Tekla?
Yeah, overall I agree with all the points made. I think, I mean, when you asked the question, I thought, does anybody use ChatGPT for investment advice? Do you ask ChatGPT, like, what should I do today? Shall I buy Trump?
I did.
When should
I know
sell
people
it?
who are using
He was very bad at advising
Sorry?
me.
Sorry?
ChatGPT was very bad at advising.
It was very bad.
Yeah, I would get liquidated.
So that's the thing, like ChatGPT is like this ubiquitous thing, right?
I think if you're feeding any LLM like data, if you're feeding it the right data to make those decisions, you can get better advice.
What is the right data? Who decides what is the right data?
Yes, fight, please.
No, I mean, it's like you brought it up, responsibility, right? We have responsibility to these people. We have to be responsible. We cannot just provide a tool and then just be like, yeah, there you go. I mean, it's also like a debate should be about, like, do we just provide the tool and then tell the users, do your own research, just you decide, here's a tool and then you can do whatever you want? Or do we take a more, let's say, responsible path and really tightly control what tools we provide to the users so that we don't lead them to a potential financial disaster? That's what I'm saying. I think today it's very too early. Obviously, I'm saying this also
100%.
Sitting here, also with the Apex announcing that we will be integrating an AI agent this year. So, but I think it's just something that we do have to be very transparent about to the users. What is it that we are providing? What is this? What they can use it for? And then at the end of the day, just reinforce the fact that they also still need to do their own research. AI tools can help us make informed decisions. But they should, I don't think that today we can sit here and say they should be making decisions for us. That's why I was asking, like, does anybody ask ChatGPT, what should I do?
I mean, it's kind of an intrinsic question, right? Like Jim Simmons, the founder of Renaissance Technologies, their entire business is based on automated quant trading, and they've beaten the market and have more returns than anyone in history. So I think it's just uncertainty, and for us that operate CEX, DEXs, or HEXs, I think we're going to have to stay really close on the regulation to see what value we can actually offer you guys as retail.
Yeah, and then the uncertainty, risk appetite, then it's at the end of the day, that's a user's choice, right?
Exactly.
You guys say a lot, so I don't think I have anything special to add. It's always a matter of trust anyway, I think. You know, day by day, developers face technical issues, okay? And the thing is, facilitate the approach for newbies, for people to have a more consciously approach to Web3, blockchain technology, crypto, AI. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy. Maybe we are working in this space, but for those who doesn't work in this space, it's not easy to understand, okay? So I don't have anything special to add about technicals here. But it's always better of trust. So the real challenge is to have more people consciously about Web3 and new technologies, etc., etc. So I return to my previous when I told about the responsibility, the knowledge, and teach something else.
So I have explicitly for you question, Filippo. So you are a centralized exchange. Centralized, right?
Yeah.
So majority of AI agents that operate today on the market, they operate connecting to the centralized solution.
Yeah.
Aren't you afraid that a centralized exchange, you will lose some volumes in favor of the centralized exchanges or other protocols? Or maybe you have some precautions to provide a similar solutions for the users of centralized exchange as one of the major ones, right, on the market?
I'm conscious about that. So everyone has to know about that. You know, checks is the first step for everyone, I think. Most of you, I hope. But it's only a matter of time. So I'm not afraid about that. You know, one time is the big fish that eats the little fish. Now it's the fast fish that eats the slow fish, okay? So it's only a matter of time. I'm not afraid about that. We are working to do that. And we have to be prepared for this change. I'm not afraid about that.
Okay.
Thank you for the question, by the way.
Thank you for that answer. So moving forward, because we have a little bit over 4 minutes left, let's speak about the future. I would like to hear from you if there are any kind of technologies or solutions that you are very bullish on in terms of development of centralized or decentralized exchanges. We've seen some in the past. So we've seen first solution, first AMM from Uniswap that was very simple. Then we've seen concentrated liquidity, then constantly improving and providing new solutions, right? On the centralized exchanges side, we've seen from very basic to futures through proof of reserve solution, et cetera, et cetera. So what in your field, or in your case, you see in general, are the technologies that can change and develop further the businesses, the centralized and decentralized exchanges into the future? Because right now we have some limitations in the space. The liquidity is compared to traditional capital markets, really small. And to attract more capital, more users, to get more into the mainstream. Of course, we are already in the mainstream, right? Like check Trump, right? But in general, we have, compared to all the population of the world, like fraction of the people are in the crypto. So how to develop further? What are the solutions that you think will push the industry forward in terms of centralized or decentralized exchanges from your point of view? Go ahead, Filippo.
Women first, guys.
Okay, Tekla.
Okay. I think that perhaps to maybe like rephrase the question a little bit, is it the technological advancement that's going to bring more users? Or have we set up certain barriers that prevent new users from coming in? Because I think we were just discussing this earlier. At the moment, the sector is not expanding. So all of us, there's an abundance of projects that are hunting the same fish. But we're not really opening the doors to the new entrants to the space. So what is it that we're doing currently that is perhaps setting up a little bit of a closing at the gate? Is the technological advancement the answer to that, or do we have to look at what we're doing and understand, is there something that, with what we are doing currently, that is prohibitive to new users entering this space? So I don't know. I think, personally, as far as the technology is concerned and DEXs, I think account abstraction is something that I've been hearing a lot about. I think there's a lot of potential there. Customizability, scalability, personalization, great stuff. But will account abstraction help with onboarding a John who heard about Bitcoin 5 years ago and hasn't really...
John doesn't understand what the account abstraction is, right?
Exactly. So, mention account abstraction to him, he will run the opposite direction. So I think that the technological advancement is perhaps maybe not the answer. We might be one of the answers, but I don't think it's the ubiquitous, unilateral answer to getting, more users from traditional finance, from other places, into the crypto space. I mean, crypto is it is supposed to be the democratizing sector, right? It is supposed to give access to all of these institutional, whatever was kept and gate kept behind the financial institutions. Crypto is supposed to democratize that. So what is it that we're doing currently that is preventing that from happening? I think we just have to be a little bit more introspective about that. Not to say that should prevent technological advancement, but perhaps account abstraction is not the answer to more people entering this space.
So your answer is marketing.
Sorry.
So your answer is marketing.
Yes, partially. Partially.
Okay, so guys, marketing is not the answer to that question.
Partially,
Let's
perhaps
agree.
marketing.
Okay,
Branding.
Filippo.
Yes, let me chill. Okay.
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I'm totally agree. Totally agree. That's our slogan is MEXC, your easiest way to crypto. Okay, but actually I totally agree with Tekla, and it costs to be repetitive, guys. It's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time here. I see that we end the time, by the way, so Tekla took all the time. But guys, study, study, study. These are 3 rules. You will get financial freedom, you will get independence, you will get decentralization, and freedom of money. That's only the solution to be more competitive on the ground.
I wanted to add a final comment, because I am operating a HEX. I'd say that our network we're releasing independently as ISO, an L1 that can power the future of other centralized exchanges, as well as DEX, as other apps. Later this quarter. And what I would say, why choose when you don't have to, when you can get the best of both worlds? I think as we move for more advancements in tech, that users won't have to choose between, they can find some sort of middle ground. And in terms of marketing opportunities to reach retail, one thing that we've tried that could be helpful to anyone that's running an exchange, we released a Telegram game where users earn points in the game, and it's a fun way to incentivize retail that might not have any idea about crypto. It's called HODL High. That's been something that's been really cool to get people that have no idea what crypto is. Maybe they've heard of Bitcoin. For engagement strategies, I think it's just finding ways to make people, mimicry, things in the market that they're used to, and just find a fun way for them to show them, hey, here's this value. Get them to engage first, and then show them the value that you have.
Klein, anything to add to this?
We have still time, or? All right, I will keep it short. So I agree with Tekla completely that the answer to this is not like the technology advantage, but what I think is also, like exchanges are built for the people. So we need to look for the answers in our users, right? So in my personal opinion, like the things like getting in contact, educating directly on the exchanges, the users, that's very important for me. And also I think being in touch with support, because I'm 100% sure each person here in this room had an issue that they had some bad transaction on exchange. They tried support before, and then, support was not responding, it was not active, so they was left only by themselves. So I think this is something to be also flexible with the users and listen to their needs, and also provide more like education part directly in the exchanges, because you can go with KOLs, YouTuber, but each one has different approach. But where people are trading on exchanges, DEX, CEX, it doesn't matter. So this will be my answer to that.
Thank you very much, and that's it for today. So my guests were Frankie from Apex, Klein, KOL and trader, Tekla from Apex, and Filippo from MEXC. My name is Paweł Łaskarzewski. Thank you very much, and give a round of applause to my...
Thank you, guys. Freedom of money!
Thank you.
Dziękuję.